All right. Home Squad Sports Week 10 game day preview. Very excited. Got a full slate here of our top six games and some other news as well. Dalton, how you doing this morning, man?
Man, I'm a little tired, had a long night, but I just ready to watch football like always, so.
I hear you. I hear you. Me too, man. I think it's gonna be some good games. Got some crazy shits ready to shake up. First off, I want to get into some news here. Recruiting our boy Will Jackson, quarterback out of Florida. Heck of a recruit there, big time guy. He's going to be visiting Miami today. So best of luck to him. And see if that's a good fit for him. It's always good to get out there on campus for him, and hopefully he has a good time. This is him visiting Virginia Tech last week, which he already has an offer from. So shout out to Will, and we'll see what happens. But we'll get into the games from last night. Nothing too crazy here. We had Ashton Jeanty, Heisman favorite for some people, able to get the win, 56-24 over San Diego State. Did you watch any of these games? Did you get a chance to really check? I know check the score throughout the night, but what do you think?
I watched a little bit of the first half of Boise, and this whole team's good, not just GT, That's what I think. We got to start talking about the whole team's good.
Yeah,
This game's good. They got good receivers, and their defense is solid. So they're overall, I think they're a pretty good team, man. They showed it against Oregon. It wasn't just GT show.
yeah, you're right. You're right. I mean, they got a good, solid team, pretty much from top to bottom. Their quarterback's good. Their tight end's good. They run good plays. Like it's just not boring football. They don't have. It's not like they lack creativity or anything. Like Boise State's a good team, and like you said last week, you made a great point. They probably have the best loss in the country. Against Oregon. I think that's a great point. And man, I wish we could see them maybe in a bigger conference or something, man, because if they get some maybe good NIL dollars there, maybe become a transfer destination. Like you never know what
Yeah,
Boise State could do in the future. But I mean, do you think? I mean, post Ashton Jeanty, we've seen different eras of Boise State. They've had some down spots, but Ashton Jeanty's been their brightest spot in some years. But do you think they'll maybe be able to stay competitive once he's gone?
yeah. I don't. They've never been like since 2001, they've been
Yeah.
good. Like they have even their down years been like 8-4. They're always competitive. No matter what their coach is, I don't know what it is about Boise State, but it's plug and play system. It seems like and then eventually they get some real good studs, and that's when they had their great years, and now they got one. So I don't know if they'll be as good, but their conference is not getting any harder. So they'll probably dominate their conference for a long time.
Yeah, you're right. I know. I would like to see them. I know a lot of people maybe thought Nelson would have got some more clock this year, or at least a look. The quarterback transfer. He's from Oregon, right?
USC.
USC, yeah, USC.
He
And
put a
then
Lincoln on
he's
there
good,
last
man. I mean, I think that they got a future
year.
with him. Maybe if they rock with him, like we'll see. But there's so many quarterbacks that's probably going to hit the portal this year. Who knows if he leaves again? You just never know.
Yeah, really.
But I mean, we'll get into Ashton Jeanty last night. I mean, he didn't have a crazy night like we're used to seeing. 149 yards, 2 touchdowns, which we have his season totals there on the right. A little over 1,300 and 18 tutties. So, I mean, is he going to get 2,000? Do you think he gets 2,000?
Uh, yeah, I was thinking so before, but man, they've been shutting, well, not shutting them down, but slowing them down the past 2 weeks. Just stacking a lot in the box, making the past game beat them. So I don't think he's going to get to it. But I hope he does. I'm cheering for it. It'd be a cool story and make the Heisman race more interesting. You have a running back in there. That's rare nowadays. It's real rare.
Yeah, I know. And it's good. Like I said, I think everyone's been rooting for him because, like you said, the running back when we came up, and pretty much generations before us, it's mostly quarterbacks and running backs that get the Heisman. So we'll see. I think I'm right there with you. I don't think he'll get the 2,000, which I think that'll maybe cost him the Heisman. I think they're going to keep him into the conversation up until the end, maybe, but we'll see. But right now, I mean, out of these four, do you have somebody maybe coming in late, as a finalist, or do you think one of these four will win it?
I think one of these. I think the guy up top's going to win. I'm all about Oregon this year, even though I don't like them or nothing, but I just think they're good, and he's just so experienced. He's got great. I think they finished undefeated. That helps in the Heisman race a
Yeah.
lot. Team success helps a lot. Travis Hunter missed a couple games, man, or missed a couple halves at least. That hurts a lot. Even just missing one half hurts in the Heisman race because it's a lot of numbers you could have been putting up. If anybody can crash the party from outside of here, man, I'm trying to think of to contenders with a really good player like balling.
Yeah, I
Not
mean, you
that
would think. I
many.
mean,
Like
Milrose kind of just shot himself
I
in the
said, he's
foot. He
done.
took
Carson Beck.
himself out the list. So many players have really taken themselves out the list and set it up for maybe Travis Hunter
Ohio
if he can stay
State.
healthy. But I was thinking maybe Cam Ward at these last couple weeks, but they're just barely getting by, I think, and they're just
Yeah,
haven't really blown out a team really bad.
and that's his week one. They played their
Yeah,
best game
no,
week
and I don't
one.
know, like they get by, and I get it. I just think they kind of they don't shoot themselves in the foot the first 2 quarters or something. They just I don't know. It's just they get a lot of penalties that are not good. I think if they were as disciplined as like an SMU, it would be a totally different team, right? Because SMU's they're one of my favorite teams this year. We'll get into them in a minute, but yeah, I mean that was a take a look at our Heisman. We want to take a glimpse here at top 25 before we get into our top 6, our pick 6 games of the week. This is going to change like it does every week,
Oh
and
yeah.
we're going to see another undefeated team go down as well. So very excited here. I mean, as of what's the biggest change you're going to predict? Is anybody going to fall out totally the top 25, or who's going to have the biggest change or the biggest rise up?
Well, I think we'll get to that game later, but Illinois, probably I think they will probably fall out. They've been playing bad lately. They were playing good hard start of the year, man. I don't know what happened, but their offense can't move the ball really anymore. That's a problem, especially because Minnesota's defense. They're always gonna ball it out. PJ Fleck, he's a defensive
Yep.
coach. They're not very good on offense, but Minnesota's always gonna have a stout D. So Minnesota, I don't know about Illinois there, and then SMU and Pitt. Yeah, we'll talk about that later, but one of them teams just should rise a lot. And if Pitt wins, they should rise a whole lot because they're
Yeah,
undefeated.
it's got big implications there. I think, man, Indiana. I've been hot on Indiana all year. I think everyone else says too. They're kind of warming
Yeah,
up to him. Clemson's such a sleeper this year, and A&M's got another big game this week. I mean, this game might have maybe the most change and effect on top 25 than we've seen in the past couple
A&M.
weeks.
Oh, Pitt, SMU.
All these teams. I mean,
Oh yeah,
A&M if they lose or if they win, if BYU
yeah. South
ends up
Carolina. It's
losing.
a tough game. Yeah,
Yeah, you just don't know. I mean, I guess out of all these teams if I could guess that's going to fall out, maybe Washington State just because they just got in. Them and Colorado just got in the top 25 for the first time in some time. So I mean, I don't know. We'll see. Penn State's going to be a dogfight. I know you're excited for that. You and your
should be a
homies
good
excited for
game.
that there, and you're up in Indy, right, for the game.
Yeah, one of my buddies, man, he's big Ohio State fans, so he's all
You're with Keith,
excited
right?
about it. Huh?
You're with Keith.
Yeah,
Shout out Keith, man.
yeah,
I like.
kid, man. He's gonna be watching this. He's probably still asleep, dude.
See, so Aaron Rodgers, he's rocking with Aaron Rodgers, huh?
Oh yeah, this is probably
Yeah,
his last year doing that though.
the Jets.
I ain't
Yeah,
talked
I
to him about
know.
it yet. I'm gonna talk to him about today though.
Yeah, we'll talk about NFL there on Monday and go over that. A lot of crazy stuff's been going on, but yeah,
Even
man, I think top 25 is going to look actually potentially a lot different there coming Monday or some Sunday when they come out with it.
definitely
So
different.
yeah, I mean, we'll go ahead and get into it. We have our undefeated teams that fell off last week, which was Navy, and then we're sure to have some more fall off this week, especially maybe if Penn State. We'll see what they can do here. I mean, here it is. Hey, we starts at noon. We do got a loaded noon lineup there, which is been rare these past couple weeks. So let's go ahead and get to it. We got Ohio State, Penn State, Duke, Miami, Minnesota, Illinois. Then we got 3:30 Arizona, UCF, and then 7:30 at 8 for your night clock games. There we have Texas A&M, South Carolina, and Pitt and SMU, which is going to be a great game. So, all right, we'll go ahead and start from top to bottom. Ohio State and Penn State. I mean, two juggernauts that everybody thinks
Great
Ohio State
game.
phonies, which I'm right there with them. I mean, this is the time of year where Ohio State they die. This is the time of the year, and I'm not sold on them. Everyone thinks that they're just getting a bad rap. I think I picked Ohio State to win the national championship before the season starts. Not confident in that pick anymore. But just tell the tape here. What are you thinking about the game?
I think Ohio State got lucky that Penn State's quarterback isn't healthy. Drew Aller's been balling, man. He's got himself a first round conversation. This year's draft's coming up. That's how good he's been playing. He wasn't really on the radar before the season, so that's impressive. But they said he might play, but he's going to have to rotate out and stuff. He's not fully healthy. Never good.
Yeah.
Ohio State got fortunate with that, man. But Ohio State, I'm interested to see how they bounce back on offense. Last week, they scored 17 points against Nebraska, only had 60 rushing yards. If they do that today, no chance, actually. Not in Happy Valley.
I feel you. I mean, he's got some guts, and we'll see if he's fully healthy. This time of the year, people are getting banged up and nicked up, but I do like him. I think he's probably my favorite quarterback there at Penn State in some time. So,
Yeah,
um,
better than
I don't
Hackett.
know, man. I think this is a classic Big Ten game. I heard that Penn State's mad. Their fan base is mad that it's so early because there's such a team atmosphere. They had to get their drinking done earlier this morning, so I get
Yeah,
it. But
it does suck,
I
man. As
mean,
a
it's
college,
crazy because Penn State, you wouldn't expect for them to have such a good home field advantage and atmosphere, but they do, and they
I know
always have.
it's weird. I don't know. I mean, they're in the middle of nowhere, aren't they? Like I don't know. They're not in a big city.
Yeah, I think it's just yeah. I think they're just it's not too much around them. Like
I didn't think so.
it's those kids that come from other states, that aren't even going to school there. It's just a kind of a central location, I guess, up there.
Yeah,
But
I got you.
I don't know. I
Me
don't
either.
know. I think it leads up into a lot of conversation, like you said, top 25 and playoffs and stuff. That this is gonna be a big. I think Penn State can get it done, man. But I mean, we'll go. I guess we'll go pick by pick here. Game. Who do you got? Penn State, Ohio State. Who you got in this game?
I wanted to go Penn State bad, but James Franklin. I don't think he's beat Ohio State since he's been there. So I got to
Okay.
go with that. And also, yeah, the quarterback, man, it's big for me. It's just backups again, big games. It's not the same, man. Not the same. Especially, I think this will be his first career start for
Yeah,
Fabula, or he's not starting, but if he plays a lot, I don't like that. He's a better runner, though. So they do have, they can call more plays when he's in. I'll give him that, but that's it. He obviously don't have the arm. I'm going Ohio State. I think Ryan Day gets a big win because he needs this one. They already have a loss this year. If they lose this, they got to win out for sure to make the playoffs. So I think they win this one, but it's going to be a damn good game, man. And yeah, I think this game's going to be everything we could ask for. It's going to be like that Bama Georgia game was a couple weeks ago. Just two slugger teams dogging it out, man. And that's what I hope for at least. And I hope I love low scoring Big Ten games. I don't want this to be a shootout. Shootouts are for other conferences. I want it to be 17-14, something like that.
I agree. I think we've been getting our low scoring games here throughout the week with these kind of lower teams. Our Thursday, Friday games, and we haven't really had a big matchup with two good teams that have came out low scoring and just dogged it out and fought it. So I feel you with Atler not playing, man. Like I said, he's banged up. It's hard to tell. Maybe they'll. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I don't think he'll sprinkle him in at all. But like you said, this new quarterback they got, they're going to probably have some more design runs as opposed to Atler. Maybe he's a little bit more improv, like he's been doing throughout the year. That's why I kind of like him. He's just unpredictable.
He's
But
good.
we'll see. I mean, like you said, backup quarterback against a big team, it either goes really well or it just doesn't work out. So I don't know. I think they got to bring their shit, man. Every week you got to, especially it gets cold out and people start falling out. I mean, if Ohio State loses maybe this game and another game, we might start to see kids, entering the portal, right, and start already like it's
Well,
been
yeah, might as well. I mean, they'll be
we've
done.
seen throughout the whole year. I mean, a lot of these teams have already lost, a number of their guys. So I will piggyback off that. I think Ohio State gets it done, not in a convincing fashion. I think people are going to still come away with the same questions as they do going in with Ohio State. So yeah, I'm right there with you, man. Which leads us into an ACC matchup here. Duke's been on the pick six, more times than I think anyone thought throughout the year, and I think this is maybe their last game,
Yeah,
big
probably.
game of the year that they can show of what they're made of. But what do you think about them versus Miami today?
I think this is the worst matchup for Duke. The style wise, they're not that much. Miami's not that good. We just talked about that. Like every
Yeah,
game's close. The style's just not good. They're not explosive at all. They're grinded out. Slug. Yeah, that team grinded out ain't gonna work against Miami this year. You have to score
no,
points. They're gonna score points no matter what. I don't think Duke can score enough points to stay with them. I think this is the week Miami shows us why they're undefeated, why they're top 10, and I think they blow them out, man. Unfortunately, I hope I'm wrong though. I hope Murray can show up and provide some offense, man. This guy has some offense at Duke. They played good last week. They almost beat who was that? They almost SMU. Yeah, their offense that was the best game they played all year though. So I don't know how sustainable it is. They're just I don't think they scored 30 points all year. I guess it's not a good team to do that against unless our defense somehow shuts Miami down. It's
yeah,
the only way they'll win. I don't
I
see that.
agree because for what I've seen this year, and when Duke does good or when they win their games, the other team, their opponent, just doesn't have a day on the scoreboard like they're supposed to. They just don't score as much. And for you to bank on that for Miami to not score as much, it's probably not going to work
I
out.
don't like it.
But
Yeah.
we'll see. I mean, I like this game just because of the Manny Diaz, head coach there at Duke. He used to coach at Miami, so we'll see if he can do it against Miami. I think you made a great point there with they're going to have to come out hot and they can't bank on their opponent on messing up. They have to play up to their opponent. They can't have their opponent play down to them, even though, this is a conference game. You never know what happens in conference games. But, I mean, this is a national contender that some people think with
Yeah.
Miami. So you got to bring it with them. We've seen them come away with some close games, with Cal. We've seen them sneak away with Louisville. So we'll see if they can do it. We'll see what Miami team kind of shows up today. Vestrepo there, the wide receivers, one of my favorite guys on the team. I like
He's a
him a lot.
beast.
He's a beast, man. He's gonna make a lot of plays on Sundays, honestly, I think. But
Super
who,
Cup.
do, who do you got in the game? You got are you leaning towards Miami?
Oh yeah. I don't think it's like I said. I think it's the week they show up and actually blow the doors off of Duke. I think they win by at least 20.
20. Okay.
I hope
Okay.
I'm
I
wrong, man.
like that.
I hope Malik Murphy and company show up and make it an interesting game. I hope so, but I don't trust them that much.
Okay. All right. No, I feel it. I'm right there with you. I think it'll be maybe a little closer, but I could definitely see it being like a 3-point game, teetering on a 10, and then the fourth quarter comes around, bam, bam, Miami just hits them
Yeah, it
with 2
scores real quick.
touchdowns. Yeah, it just hits them and they just can't answer, and then you're forcing Duke to take shots and speed it up, and they're normally not with that. So I like that. I'm right there with you now, which leads us to a very interesting game that you added down here, which I think you shed light on this game. It's gonna be it's gonna be a matchup, man. Minnesota, Illinois. Can Big Double B's Brett Bielema, can he get it done? However you say his name, there's one thing that remains the same is he knows ball, and we'll see if he can get it done against PJ Fleck, who's got Minnesota playing very well this year. I think they've had their share of close games as well, but been able to grind them out. But what do you think about Minnesota, Illinois? Who you got here? The last game we have on the noon slate.
Oh, Minnesota's been playing a lot better lately, man. Won 3 straight, beat USC in one of those. Just coming off a win against Maryland, they put 48 points, man. For Minnesota to do that, that doesn't happen often. If their offense shows up like that again today, Illinois is not going to have a chance because they gave up 50 points to Purdue 2 weeks ago, man. And Purdue's offense is one of the worst in the country. I don't know what happened to Illinois the past few weeks. Oregon demolished them. They were looking good earlier in the year, man, but it's like, I don't know. They lost confidence, and they're not even favored at home.
It's
That's the
always
craziest part of the
scary.
week.
It's always scary when you got a home dog. It's like it makes no sense. And then Belima, correct me if I'm wrong. I know that he had a stronger start this year than he did last year, but he still had a pretty decent start last year. I think they were 4-0, or maybe it was 2 years ago when he was first year on the job.
I think it
He
might have
had
been
it.
last year. But, yeah, either way, I know one of those years you're right,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, you're right. It was 2 years ago. Now he's brought some respect on Illinois football. We'll give him some credit on that. Same thing with PJ Fleck with Minnesota. I mean, it hasn't been an NIL thing. I think with these two hires, which is a good point, I think these hires are solely on coaching and getting the right coach in there. They don't have these big guys we're talking about, that draft guys. This is a product of having good coaches in your system and having a good fit. Maybe it doesn't matter about the big names. I think that your Florida Gators might, take that into consideration on their next move. Just having a great fit, not a name, and it's the battle all these schools have, right? With you want to get guys who people know and kids know, but at the same time, you want to get guys who want to win and they want to take advantage, of where they're at. So yeah, I mean, with the last game on the noon slate, Minnesota, Illinois, I think it is going to be. I mean, do you think it'll? I don't know what the over under is on points, but we can do our own over under here. What do you think? Give me the line of you think the total points of this game.
Vaughn, I'd say if I was Vegas, I'd put maybe like 48 and a half.
48
Low,
and a half.
24, 27, 24,
I like that. No,
20,
I like that a
24,
lot.
29,
27-24.
twenty-four,
I think
29.
we just on a weird prediction. I think we might see some decent scoring early on, and then maybe a teeter out, and then them teams kind of maybe one team gets up 7 and they're kind of scared. They want to keep the other team off, and start running the ball. But no, I think this game could go either way. As far as picks, though, who you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna rob Minnesota today, man.
Love it.
Max Brosner's playing a lot better after his first couple weeks. They have a couple good receivers there actually. Darius Taylor, running back, is a good running back, man. I think their offense is going to do enough against Illinois' defense that's been crumbling the past few weeks. Even though Bellama's, but he's known for being a defensive coach, and Illinois is known for just being tough and physical. But the last few weeks it hasn't showed up, man. And Minnesota's always physical, so I think they just out physical them today. I don't think
Yeah,
I think it's a close game, and I think it's a low scoring old school. This one's going to be the old school Big Ten game for sure. I'm not
love
sure
it.
about the Ohio State one. This one's going to be a brawl.
Love it, love it. I agree, man. I think it's going to be a great game, and that's the reason why we have it on here, and then which leads us into our back half of our slate. I think you're right on the money with all these. I'm right with you on these first three. We'll see if anything changes here with this last three. We have some great matchups. We have Arizona and UCF there at 3:30. Arizona, a lot of people think they're going to be balling a whole lot more. I think they have arguably the best receiver in the country, which is their bright spot. I think it's one of their only bright spots that people, didn't think was going to happen. But for Fida, do you think he's going to be able to get it done against the Astronauts? I think they're going by the Astronauts today. It's like a throwback game for them.
Oh, they're wearing that jerseys. I've seen those jerseys. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
they suck. I hate them.
yeah,
Central Florida, Florida fans might dislike them more than Miami and Florida State nowadays because they talk so much shit, bro, and they ain't done nothing.
I
So
hate
yeah,
them.
I hope Arizona wins, but the Fafita question, man, he just hasn't improved this year from last year. He looked so good last year. Everybody, 2 years from now, number one pick. I don't know if he's missing the coaching staff that left. Jed
Yeah,
Fish and all took his coaches with them. That's a
yeah,
big thing for a young quarterback, man. Learn a new system already, as you just got good at the other one. So
yeah.
that's tough to do at any kid. You got to be really talented to be able to overcome that. And then also, I think he only has one weapon, man. Like you touched on. McMillan might be the only weapon they got worth anything. I watched him play a couple games, and I definitely thought Arizona. I was high on Arizona coming into the year. Yeah, I thought they'd finish 15, 16 in the country. Maybe have a chance to win the Big 12, but they definitely don't. I think it's gonna be a great game, though. What do you think about Central Florida?
I hate Central Florida. Gus Malzahn. I seen some fire Gus chants at the last game, which I'm right there with him. I don't think he's pulled a wool over people's heads. I think these last couple years, I really do think that UCF is just not a big time program. They're just not, man. Like, yeah, they might have a good running back every few years. Okay, Gus Malzahn, congrats, bro. But you're
He
just
does
not.
that, yeah. He
You're
does that.
not like this because they have a big. Them in South Florida have really big expansions for their stadiums coming in the next couple years, and I'm like, I get why you're doing it, but like you're not gonna it's just not gonna move the needle for me. It's just not for me. And then looking back at Arizona to piggyback off what you're saying, every time I watch Arizona, when they snap the ball, you can't really see the receivers. It moves pans to the quarterback, and they'll pan to the quarterback, and when he throws, every time it's T Mac. Every
Yeah,
time he does
yeah.
not throw to anyone else. And they'll pan the ball. I'm like, all right, he's probably gonna throw to someone else this time. It never happens. Their whole offense revolves around him, which I get it. You gotta ride with your strong hand, but you have to have the defense to guess a little bit. You know as best as anyone. You as a corner, like when you know where the ball's going, it just makes your job a lot easier.
It's fun though when you know where the ball's going. As a defender, it's a lot of fun. I'll say that. But yeah, it's easy. Yeah, it's fun though.
Yeah, I mean, just off if you're a running back or if you're a receiver on one side, sometimes it cuts the field in half, but when it cuts the field in half and you know who exactly it's going to, like it's just crazy. And I don't know, hot take here, maybe just question for down the road. Do you think Fafita may leave this year? Do you think he'll transfer?
I think you could definitely think about it. Maybe go to Washington with Fish.
I could
That would
see
be,
it.
yeah, that'd be a better fit. Surprised he didn't leave with them. Will Rogers ain't good, And Washington's a better program, but he decided to stick it out for the boys. I respect that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I respect that. But we'll see what he does this year. I mean, if they finish the year, a couple more losses, yeah, I definitely wouldn't blame him for leaving. You got to do something. You can't just, you know, yeah, you're
Yeah,
allowed
no,
to
I
leave.
agree. I think we've
Go
all
back.
thought that he was going to have a big year. I think
Supposed
he's a
to.
little shorter than I think what a lot of people
He
thought.
is
His
like five.
size, he's
Yeah,
just more of a Russell Wilson in the
like five
size than I
ten.
think what people think.
He's only like 5'10", dude.
Yeah, I didn't know
Yeah,
he was that short, man. Like,
I didn't either
I don't
until
know,
like
maybe
this.
if that's the problem, but it stands out on film. I will say it stands out on film. And yeah, I could see him maybe transferring. I do want to give him respect on staying when the coach and staff left. I do think that's really the most valid point to leave a program is when your staff
Oh
leaves.
yeah,
But
yeah.
hey, he stuck in there through the storm, and he maybe obviously thought everyone thought their season was going to go a little different. But man, this is hard on a pick, bro. I don't know. This is a toss up on a pick. I
I
mean,
agree.
I want to go UCF on just the diversity, just more diversity. I really just want to go that, but I don't like UCF. Uh, I think they made a bad signing on quarterback this year, to be honest. But what do you think as far as picks? What do you got, man?
Oh yeah, man, they benched KJ Jefferson now. By the way,
Yeah.
they're playing Ja'Cory Brown, Miami transfer. He can run. He can run, and he can't really throw. He can't throw at all, kind of. So their offense is very one dimensional now, but it's looked better with him the past few weeks. And they almost beat Iowa State, and they're coming off a big win last week. I forgot who they won, but they beat somebody. So Central Florida's playing better. I don't really want to pick them, but I'm going to because if it's a toss-up game, I usually go with the home team. Um, and Arizona's going all the way across the country too. First time they're doing that. They're not used to that yet. Not this year. They'll get used to it in the next couple of years. But right now, they're still going through all the logistics, trying to get everything perfect. I think.
Hmm.
So give me Central Florida in a tight battle. I think their run game's too much for Arizona to stop. They haven't played as many run games this good.
I agree. I'm right there with you, man. I think it's going to be an entertaining game. I think this game maybe will be similar maybe to Minnesota Illinois, but you never know with Arizona. They could also be in a 48-42 shootout. You never know. But I don't think UCF's going to let that happen today. I honestly don't. I think they're going to keep them at bay. They're going to this is the perfect game for Gus Malzahn to give everybody a little more hope there in Orlando, or and I think he'll give him a little bit more hope. Like, all right, do we give Gus another year? Gus this, Gus that. I hate Gus Malzahn. He's just not. He's like Freeze to me. He's like if Freeze. He's
Hugh, yeah.
yeah, Hugh Freeze. He's just like Hugh Freeze at Auburn to me. They just don't have any big wins, and I don't know, man. Their players have made everything for them. A lot of coaches make players, but I think all their players have made them do coaches there, unfortunately. But yeah, we'll see. I'm right there with you, man. Which leads us to our last two games, which we'll get picks for the rest of the slate as well. But these last two, I mean, A&M they have been showing up every week. They had a 10-point deficit, just they came back last week, and I really like this team, man. This might be my favorite A&M team since Johnny Manziel, right? I mean, that's my opinion, but that's my take on them. Shout out to Zune, Trey Zune, offensive lineman for Texas A&M, part of the Dungeon family with Matt McChesney. So he's going to be a draft pick in this upcoming draft, and not for that point alone. The point because they are a way better team. I'm going to take Texas A&M. I don't. South Carolina's going to, I think, make it interesting a lot. They've made every game interesting. I feel like this year. I like their defense. They have probably the two best edge rush combo in the country, in my opinion. Um, but but that's what can win you games if you can get turnovers, if you can get a special teams touchdown, if you can just make them make mistakes. That's how you win in an upset. That's how you beat a better team. Make them make mistakes. But
Yeah.
do you think the Aggies show up, and do you think they continue to be a team on everyone's watch list?
No, I think they don't actually. I'm going the other side on this one. I think South Carolina's and like you said, they've been playing good all year. Really, their defense is just so good. And the formula for beating a top 10 team, upsetting a top 10 team, is going on the road at night and playing a top 10 defense. South Carolina's top 10 defense in the country, actually.
Yep.
Uh, that's really what sticks out to me, man. Most times you see these top 10 teams lose to unranked teams, it's a night game on the road
You're right.
against a top 10 defense. That's what this is. All the writings are on the wall for upset. South Carolina's offense just has to do enough. Their defense is going to show up. A&M's offense, they're going to have to rely heavily on the run with Marcel Reed at quarterback. They don't have you can't throw. He's not a great thrower. He's good enough, but he's mobile, man. He's mobile. There's a lot of mobile quarterbacks right now in the SEC and just, in the country in general, which I like to see. It's fun football. But both of these guys got rushing quarterbacks. But yeah, man, that's why I'm taking South Carolina. A&M's had a great season. Take nothing away from them just because I'm picking South Carolina. They have a great chance to win. Really kind of a toss up, but I think South Carolina they're due for a big win, man. They should have beat Bama at home, and I think the kids are like, shit, we should have won that. Let's actually win this one, man. Let's go out there and actually take this one, not just almost win, So I think the kids are really motivated.
No, I agree. A pissed off South Carolina team is definitely different than a South Carolina team. Any pissed off team. I think you make some great points with their defense and Marcel Reed. I think Marcel Reed. Do you think that's their guy for the future? Do you think they'll rock with them for the next coming years, or maybe try to find another guy?
I mean, they benched Wegman for him,
Yeah,
so he wasn't playing good, but Reed, I think he's only ready for freshman, so
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. They might hit the portal and get some veteran to battle with them at least, but just see how you finish the year first. He's only played 3 or 4 games, so it's too small of a sample size right now to really say. But I mean, if they went out and make the playoff, yeah, for sure. But I
Yeah,
mean,
like,
it was
yeah, I
this
could see
game
them
was
maybe bringing a guy for maybe a competition, but yeah,
yeah,
if he keeps on winning and keeps on doing what he's doing, and just like you said, just play good enough, just play good enough, and your defense is going to show up. They're more than likely. They're really well disciplined. I like your pick. Honestly, I do like South Carolina here. I think the Aggies, after having such a dog comeback win last week, that really does set a fire. I think both teams are pissed off for two different reasons. Because I think if Texas A&M would have done what they've normally done last week, people wouldn't have even questioned this game. I don't think, but. Yeah, I really like South Carolina's got a very good young team. They're young, man, and
yeah,
they're good. I
freshman
like them.
QB.
I like them. I like them. Maybe if they can get a couple more just guys. I mean, obviously some interior guys will help, but maybe a couple more wideouts that'll help them out.
Yeah, they need some wideouts for sure.
Yeah, no, they need some wideouts. Wideouts, they've had such good in the past, wideouts, and yeah, I've always liked their wideouts. South Carolina is a sleepy team, man. I just
Yeah,
think it's the logo or something. Their logo's ugly. Like it's a C, you
yeah,
know.
Carolina, I
I know,
guess.
I get
Like
it, but it's just like doesn't.
it is stupid, and they have a Gamecock, man. They could make something cool.
And well, I know Jack State is a Gamecock. I get it, but they use the same like kind of logo right on their alternate logo. They use the same logo. Jack State does for their alternate. But I do want to say shout out Jack State gent. I got a college football road to glory right now. My big fat quarterback for Jack State right now. He's a
Oh,
baller.
Jack State, really?
Yeah, Buzz
No,
will.
the running back went for 220 again too. Just
Yeah,
saying.
I know.
We highlighted him last week, so
Yeah,
just saying
we gave a
again.
shout out to him last week. He was honorable mention last week.
And he
We
did
go
it
ahead and
again
throw
like
that in there.
3
That
weeks
was
ago.
Trey Stewart. He had 210 yards on 21 carries last week. So yeah, I mean, yeah, they definitely got some help there at Jack State. We'll see some honorable mentions of some lower schools. Will make our list this week. But man, so you got Carolina there at 7:30, right?
Yeah, I got him taking Carolina. I'm riding with them, man. I think they get it done.
I like it. I like it. I think that's a good pick. I think that's where our first disagreement will be here. I do like A&M, but I'm not confident in it. I'm not as confident as I should be because you always got to bring your lunch, and you got to be ready to work when you play South Carolina every single game. And they always just have those quarterbacks where if they have a quarterback that can operate when the play breaks down, South Carolina is always a sleepy team. When they had Connor
Oh yeah,
Shaw, Connor
um,
Shaw was probably one of my favorites when they didn't have a lot of design runs. His rushing yards came from when the play was breaking down.
oh definitely.
So yeah, I think we'll see that. I think we'll see that there. I think we'll see Marcel Reed, like you said, young quarterback. I think he's going to be running around, making plays, extending some. But give me the Aggies. Not too confident in it. Just as this is kind of like this is a very similar feeling of the pick of Arizona UCF game. Honestly, yeah, exactly.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah. So's the
Yeah,
next one.
very
The
similar.
next game is too to me.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree, man. I liked it, but this is a hard one. This next one, which our last game of the pick six, 8 o'clock. Our last couple of weeks, we've had some games, start at 10:30, but this one, we have earlier of our last game. But obviously, there'll be some more games that we'll go through that's going to pop up as good games. So we'll see. Pitt, Coach Narduzzi, and versus SMU, two very well coached teams, two teams that do not beat themselves, and they're going to make the other team beat them. This has potential to be the best game of the week, but we'll see. We'll see if it lives up to the hype. But man, SMU, they had their quarterback got banged up there. I think he's good to go. They just dropped their uniforms. I think they're going to rock the red uniforms today. But yeah, man, I like SMU. I'll go ahead and give a preview to my pick. I like them a lot today. I think they have potential to win the ACC. I hope they do, just for the story, just because they don't seem like an ACC team. I just hope they win it, honestly. So, with that being said, give me SMU. I'll let you elaborate on the game. What do you think of Pitt SMU going in?
Oh man, two fun teams. Pitt's just been really fun to watch all year. A lot of
They
fourth
have.
quarter comebacks earlier in the year, and now they've been cruising though lately. They've actually been winning by points, so they're getting better, man, every week I think. And then you look at SMU, last week very easily could have lost that game to Duke, and I think they're way better. So they're a more talented team than Duke by far. So I didn't like that result. I have to see them play a lot better this week. To beat Pitt, they'll have to. If they play the way they did against Duke last week, I don't think they have a chance really. And that's not because Pitt's great, but they're playing great. You know what I mean? There's a difference between being a
Yeah,
great team and playing great. They're playing great.
yeah.
You got Holstein there, man. But, I don't know. Funny name to me for a quarterback. This Holstein just sounds like a pastor or something, man. Like Eli Holstein. No, I don't like it for a quarterback. But Alabama transfer. He was a 5-star a couple years ago, man. So Pitt's got a guy that can develop at quarterback, and he's only a freshman. He hasn't lost a game yet. So watch out for Pitt in the future. Just saying. But talking about this game, man. Give me Pitt. Give me Pitt. I'm going to take Pitt.
Pitt,
I'm going to take
I
Pitt on the
like it.
road, man. They might be one of those teams of destiny, and I'm really hoping they're undefeated at the end of the year. So is Miami, and you have the ACC championship game, two undefeated teams. Be very entertaining. That's what I'm hoping for. Just as a fan, college football fan, I hope Pitt beats their ass when that happens. But
I
yeah,
feel
man,
you.
give me Pitt.
I'm right there. I'm right there with you, man. Actually, I agree. I think I would that would be good for college football and good for the conference if they're undefeated. We have 18 versus number 20. I mean, Pitt's 18, SMU's 20. Pitt is undefeated, 7-0, and then SMU's only they're 7-1, man. I mean, they're nothing to be slept on. They're not getting a lot of national recognition. I get it. I like SMU just because I just became to like them with the pony excess. Back then, paying players to
Yeah,
play. And
yeah,
if anyone doesn't know, with SMU football, they got in trouble for paying players back then, and the NCAA shut down the football team for a year
death
and
penalty.
crippled them with no scholarships for so long. And it's crazy to think how far we've come, and these players are actually getting pretty much salaries now. And back then, they got in trouble for paying all those players. I mean, they
That's
got
true.
Eric Dickerson, one of the all-time great running backs there in NFL. I mean, they ran the option, which was just fun to watch. They called it the Pony
Money
Express.
Express. Yeah.
I mean, it was great to see, man, and I really like to see them back relevant. I don't think anyone thought they were going to be relevant this quick in the ACC. I think everyone thought they were going to be maybe bottom feeders, but with that Texas money, them located in Dallas, Texas, you never know what can happen, man. You never know. You can get up on the ponies, and they can be scoring. I really like their offense, and I really like their trajectory. I really do. You might see me with the SMU hoodie not before too long. It's because they're a likable team, and I
I
like
like their
Pitt.
jerseys.
You said what?
I like their jerseys.
Yeah, I love their
They
jerseys.
got good
The
combos,
Dallas
man. They got good combos.
and that man, they just plays such a big part. They have everything going for them. They have everything going for them. I think they not single handedly. Everyone else has to show up, but they could really start changing the narrative on the ACC.
You
I
think
really
SMU
do
is a
think.
sleeping
Uh,
giant kind of thing?
yeah, sleeping giant, man. I mean, you got a team in Texas. You can recruit from your backyard from Texas. You can get transfers from all the teams in Texas, and then that's
Yeah.
just your home state. So I don't know, man. It's going to be crazy. A thing I want to add there with SMU, there was a book written on them. It was called A Payroll to Upheld or A Payroll to Keep. And it's a good book if you're a reader about SMU. And if you're not like me, you can just watch the 30 for 30.
That's what I was about to say. Okay. I was
Yeah,
gonna say that. Yeah, I was like,
I think it's on Netflix. I think it's still on Netflix. I know every football season they bring back a lot of those old 30 for 30s on
probably
Netflix.
on the
But
ESPN app even though.
yeah, ESPN app. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. Yeah, man, I love ESPN 30 for 30s. That first batch of those ESPN 30 for 30s was among the best
I feel
ones.
like they haven't came out with any in a while.
They haven't. They haven't. I think the last one that I really remember, well, they had one for Coach Cal in UK.
Oh
Then
yeah.
a few other ones after that, but nothing like the first couple seasons they had. I mean, that was must see TV. I remember vividly in high school and after, like when an ESPN 30 for 30 was coming on documentary, and no matter who it was on, you were at least gonna watch it and check it out.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
But yeah, man, what we'll do here is we'll go ahead and do a quick rundown of our picks, and then we are going to go into our rest of our picks for the week. So hurry up. I'll go ahead and do mine really quick, and then we'll give gents. I don't think we have too much difference here, but we'll see how it shakes out. So I will rock with you on Penn State right here. Then I got Miami, and then as you have Minnesota, I like Minnesota as well. And then right here at Arizona UCF. Oh, this is hard. I'm gonna go with UCF barely, and then I'm gonna go with Texas A&M, and then SMU. So that's my picks there for pick six. But Dalton, let's hear it, man. What do you got?
Yeah, we're the same on the first three. I'm going on Penn State, Miami, Minnesota, Central Florida. First four were the same. Then about the last two games, man. Yeah, we disagree on those. I'm going Gamecocks and the Pittsburgh Panthers, man. Something about that team screams team destiny to me, man. I don't know what it is.
No, I feel you, man. It's
One of
this
those,
is. Ugh.
they're not that good. It's just one of those teams that just win every game, even though they're not that good. They're not supposed to. One of those years until they face somebody really good.
Yeah, I'm right. I totally agree, man. And so out of the six we have, we do a pretty good job of getting a six every week that's gonna show up, save you time, and get the best bang for your buck time wise, because there's so many games. But out of all these games, if you had to pick and predict what's gonna be the game of the week that we're gonna look back and say, damn, this was the game of the week by far, and we wish we had this every week. So
I
which
mean,
one do you think out of these six has the potential to be the top game?
I hate to be, Manila, be boring, but I got to go with the list. I got to go with the Ohio State, Penn State. 3 versus 4. I mean, come on. Doesn't happen often. Yeah, I'm excited about some other games, but let's be real, man. 3 versus 4. It's essentially, Final Four game quality wise. So I think that's going to be the best one. If not, though, yeah, they'll miss. I mean, that Pitt SMU game's also going to be up there. And then don't sleep on my Florida Gators today either. I think we can really hang in there with Georgia after watching the past couple weeks. The way they played against, let's go, baby. The way they played against Kentucky, they played terrible against Kentucky. They played terrible against Mississippi State. We beat both these teams out, man. Tennessee, not good. We almost beat Tennessee. I don't know why I said that. They're not good. I just don't like to talk about it. I just like to say that. But yeah, I think that game could be the sleeper, that we're not talking about. I hope it is at least. And then maybe even Tennessee, Kentucky tonight. I know Kentucky hasn't been playing good, but Stoops is on the, he needs to do something now. He needs to do something. Maybe this could be the something he does is upset Tennessee on the road. He already did it to Ole Miss this year. So I'm just saying, watch out, Tennessee. The way they've been playing, they're just getting by.
I agree. I especially with UK, man. I know they're the land of blue, and you don't wear red. They don't like anything red down there. But I think Stoops' seat is red hot right now.
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I think it is, man. I think beggars can't be choosers with UK football.
That's
Let's get that
that's
clear.
what I
They're not
think.
a contender. But I will say this: with NIL and with the potential they've shown, and you want to partner that with the lack of quarterback they've had for however long it's been, you really want to maybe see some change of someone who can get in there. All right, let's try a different hand here. We've been dealt the same hand every year, just not working out. They're not even getting over the hump as being like the fourth team. You know, they're still, I don't know, their quarterback play is just what makes or breaks them. I think they're a tough team, which is crazy to say. Usually, if
Yeah,
you don't have a good quarterback, a lot of teams will give up and defense is out there way too long and they just fall apart. But their defense shows up every week, and we'll see what they do at quarterback. I do like that point there. I think with 3 and 4 matching up this week, and we'll see. I think a couple of these coaches are going to be on a really big hot seat, and then really giving Coach of the Year a crazy discussion. If Narduzzi can win and keep Pitt undefeated today, I mean, I think they're Coach of the Year with Signetti right there. Signetti's my Coach of the Year right now. That's just my opinion.
there's a lot of good candidates right now because you got, I mean, BYU on number 9, man. What about Shiitake?
I know if they can win out, everyone's sleeping on them. The most team that's just not talked about this year, and we're guilty of it too. Everyone is Iowa State and BYU. They're just not getting talked about. I don't know why Iowa State doesn't have that marquee guy. Top of the maybe if Aston Genty wasn't. I don't know really. You can't really put your finger on it of why they're not getting their attention, but they're just not getting it, and they should. They deserve more attention. If we get into IU this much attention, Iowa State should be right there with them, in my opinion. So but I do think if they both played, Indiana would beat the shit out of Iowa State, in my
Really?
opinion.
It wouldn't be
But
close. Okay.
yeah, it'd be closer than I probably, but I would like to think Indiana would just blow them out from what I've seen this year on just that. I love their team, man. I love their brand. I love Signetti. They're putting up points and they don't give up points. It's the perfect
Yeah,
combination when
they're
your
blowing
offense
teams
can
out.
score
Yeah,
and your defense can keep from the other offense from scoring. I mean,
they've been blowing
damn.
teams out.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, Kansas State, we'll see if they can continue to climb. They've been kind of stagnant these last couple weeks, I think.
My only
But
argument with IU is if Florida had that schedule, we'd be undefeated, and we're not even good at football, bro. They have 109th ranked strength of schedule. So I always say it. It's true. I gotta say it again. You only play, you play. But there's still, man, some of the luster wears off when you really start looking at when you really go through their resume and see their best wins, probably fucking Maryland. Uh, this late in the year,
No, that's what everybody's saying about Colorado right now too, because they just thought the Big 12 was going to be a little better. going in, and they thought the Big 12 was going to be, maybe a little bit more competitive than it is this year. But I don't know. I think they're both argument. They both hold weight. But like you said, you can only play who's in front of you. But yeah, man, I think this is going to change a lot. With that being said, what we're going to do is get just quick picks here from me and from you just for the rest of the week. And I'll shoot them out here and just tell me what you think. So,
Okay.
really quick, we got Ole Miss, Arkansas at noon, another
Hmm.
loaded on the noon slate. Who do you got, Ole Miss, Arkansas?
It's at Arkansas, huh?
It's at Arkansas.
Man, give me the upset. Lane Kiffin ain't been looking good recently these past few weeks. And Arkansas, what they do at home. They already beat Tennessee at home. Physical, tough defense. Enough explosive playmakers on offense. Great running back. Arkansas gets it done today.
Arkansas gets done. They are +8. They are +8 right now. You like
Wow,
it?
that's
Yep.
high.
I'll give you the line. I'll give you before we get it. I'll give you the pick and I'll give you the over under. So over and under is 54.5. You like over and under that one?
54. Give me the under. Arkansas Tennessee game was 19-14. I'm expecting maybe something close to that.
Love it. I agree, man. I think that is like if you're a betting person, hammer that. Hammer that. I love that pick right there, gent. Shout out. I really do like that. I
Yeah,
think
man.
Arkansas, they show up every single week, and them at home, I think Lane Kiffin's checked out. I
Yeah,
think he's checked out mentally, man. He's ready to leave or get fired, whatever what they're going to do to him. I don't think they'll fire him, but
definitely
I
not.
think he's going to leave. He's out the door. Their running back hasn't been as good as year. Their tandem, and yeah, I think they lose today. I'm right there with you, man. So we'll see here from other games that kind of catch our eye. We have and NC State rocking with their, our new quarterback for the year since Grayson McCall did have to retire due to injury and injury history with concussions. They are -10 against Stanford. They're at home against Stanford, and 46.5 is the over/under. What do you think about NC State and Stanford?
46.5. Wow, that's pretty low.
Yeah,
I like the over, but I like Stanford ain't going to win, dude. They're terrible. I can't believe they beat Syracuse earlier this year. I know Syracuse ain't great, but still is a weird result. Stanford just don't have anything, man. They haven't had anything in a while. 5 or 6 years probably. They were so good when we were growing up, year in and year
yeah,
out. Every year they
yeah,
were good, and now they just I don't know what it is, an IL or what. Nobody wants to go there. Nobody wants to play. You have to go to class there, bro.
yeah.
You have to go to class every day. It's like Duke. It's like going to Duke, or Vandy. You got to be smart as hell to go there, even if you're a football player. And that I think that hurts. I think that hurts as a program. A lot of guys from South Florida don't want to go there, man.
Yeah, that's what hurts Vandy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And same thing with Stanford. That's just nobody talks about it. Stanford's the same way. I mean, just as smart of a school as Vandy. Very prestigious school. So I'm just saying that hurts their football program, and I ain't picking them to win unless they're playing like Ball State or something.
Yeah, and then they're one of those schools, Stanford, who gets so much money with academics and just with their engineering programs and just their tech with Silicon Valley being in their
Yeah,
backyard. Like they're really not worried about football that much. They're really not. You would be surprised if we see that a lot in basketball. With me being a Gonzaga fan, we've been in the West Coast Conference this whole time, and most of those West Coast Conference teams, Pepperdine and those schools like that, they get their bread from academics. They don't give a shit about basketball. They don't
yeah,
care. They're because for them to care, they got to break down their whole arena and build a new one, and they're not going to do that. They
right.
don't care.
Yeah,
So
no,
they're
you're
all
right.
just too small venues. So we'll talk about basketball there later in the week. Shout out basketball getting the rolling.
Yes,
Do
sir.
want to get some thoughts here on Syracuse, Virginia Tech after the debacle that Syracuse and Kyle McCord did last week. Kyle McCord 3 pick sixes in the first half. That's crazy. I don't
Five
know.
picks in the game, 3 pick sixes. Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
he's
know
bad.
about
They are the 3.5 point dogs today versus Virginia Tech, even though they're at home. Inside game, they play inside. 54.5 is the over and under for this one. What do you think on this one?
over.
Over.
Yeah, it's gonna be 30, 35, 31 type shit. I
Okay.
think both these offenses are good. Defenses ain't showing me nothing. I don't think Kyle McCord bounces back though against Georgia Tech. And at Tech, man. Oh, is that Syracuse?
Yeah, that's Syracuse actually.
Well, that helps a lot actually.
Yep.
But I'm still taking. Both these teams are so mediocre and just up and down. You don't know
Yeah.
what to expect from these teams week in and week out. Either one of them. Give me the Hokies though. Give me the Hokies. I'm not trusting McCord after what I saw last week. I can't trust him. I can't trust him anymore. If you throw 5 picks in the game, I can't trust you. So sorry.
I feel you. I'm right there, man. Kyle McCord, brother, I'm out on you. I
Yeah,
wasn't
it's like
too high on
official.
him. people were making me look stupid the first couple weeks. He was too.
I swear he was making us look stupid for a
But
while.
I just couldn't buy it too, man. When you can't give Marvin Harrison the ball, and when you're his quarterback in high school and college, and you can't get him the ball, that's a problem.
I'm
That's a
glad.
big
I'm
problem.
just glad Marvin Harrison Jr. ain't playing college anymore, dude. Ernie Johnson or what? Gus Johnson? Which one? The announcer, dude, that does college football.
Gus.
I hate that guy. If you ever watch this podcast, I don't like you, dude. You're annoying as hell.
No,
Maserati
Gus
Marv.
Johnson. Yeah.
That made me think of that. He always called. He never could call him Marvin Harrison Jr. Not fucking one time. Every time it was Maserati Marv. Every single time he said his name 30 times a game, bro.
I'm gonna
Maserati
get a cut up.
Marv.
I'm gonna get a cut up of Maserati Mars, and we'll have it on next week's pod. We'll have it on
Yes, dude.
Monday's
You're gonna
show.
have to tell the people because it's so annoying. I know people know. If you watch, if you're a Ohio State fan, they definitely know what I'm talking about. Because it was just they might not have minded it, but as a
No,
neutral
I
fan,
remember them calling him that, like, and it didn't stick for me.
it was
I'm like,
only
why the
him.
hell they
Like
calling
it
this
was
dude
only him.
Maserati Marv?
Yeah, like I think it was only him. Like, what were you doing? I'm trying to make your own
Yeah, I
nickname.
don't get it. Yeah, I like your picking there. I think Virginia Tech's going to get it done, man. Even
Yeah,
on,
man.
I don't care that they're on the road, honestly.
Yeah, again, either.
Another game I want to get your picks here on Vandy at Auburn at 12:45. Weird kickoff time
Ooh,
there. Auburn is -7.5. The over and under is 48.5. What do you think about Auburn versus Vandy today? Does Pavia get it done or what?
8.5.
7.5. 48.5 is the
Who the
over and
hell
under.
people think Auburn is all of a sudden?
I don't know.
7.5
I
against a
don't
team
know.
that beat Alabama this year and then almost beat Texas.
Yeah.
Hmm. Give me Vandy all freaking money, not money line, maybe. I'm not going there, but spread all day. Hammer that, dude. If y'all are betting,
I
hammer
I
Vandy
love I
and
love a
maybe the
bunch of
money line.
smart kids versus Hugh Freeze.
That's what I'm saying. And the way they're just playing good, man. They're a good team. It's the best Vandy team since James Franklin. You know.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
you're Zach Stacy days.
Definitely. Yeah, Zach Stacy, shout out. Jordan Matthews. They had a couple good guys for a little. They had a couple. They had good guys, but nobody
Yeah.
great.
I
Yeah,
like
Jordan
that.
Rogers.
And that's what got him that job those couple years at Vandy. Those two he was at Vandy for more than a couple
He went
years, but
9-3.
those
He
two or
went
three
9.
big years they had, that's what got him that job.
Yeah, he
Kind
went
of
nine
reminds
and
me of
three.
Brian Brom, a little bit lower
Like,
version of Brian Brom.
I don't trust Auburn, man. I know they played good against Kentucky last week, but Vandy ain't gonna let you run for 280 on them. No shot.
No, you're not. I think there's a couple upsets that's going to happen this year. I think that line's crazy. As soon as I
That's
seen
what
that, I was
I'm
like, what the
saying.
hell? Now we do want to throw in here number one in the nation, Oregon versus Michigan. I don't know if anyone's caught recruiting news. They just lost their quarterback over the week. Michigan did. So and he's been committed since almost a whole year. So we're
Yeah.
going to see what Michigan does at quarterback. A lot of people think they're going to go over for Bryce Underwood, number quarterback in the nation, number one quarterback in the nation, going to LSU. I think he's damned if he do, damned if he doesn't. Bryce Underwood, if he goes to Michigan or LSU, in my opinion.
Oh, he's not winning a title at LSU, but he's getting drafted first round and he's putting up numbers.
True.
That's what they do, yeah. That's what
14
I
and a
think.
half Oregon's favored. You like that?
Oh yeah. That's it.
Love it.
That's it.
I
For me,
know. I love that. I love
they're
that.
Michigan
44 and a half is the over and under. What do you think about 44 and a half? You think they'll go under just Oregon by themselves, or do you think
score's
Michigan can
gonna
even put
be
up? Can
35
Michigan even
10.
score 2 touchdowns in this game?
Score's gonna be 35-10.
35-10? I like that.
Yeah.
One
Like,
touchdown is actually giving them some credit there, Michigan. I don't
I'm being
care if it's in a
generous,
big
bro.
house or not.
I'm being generous a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, they can't score, but I remember that we had that stat a couple of weeks ago. They only
Red
had
zone snaps.
Yeah, they only had 12 red zone snaps, I think, through like 7 or 8 games. So next game here, I want to get your take on. We ain't gonna hide from it here. 3:30. I like this game a lot. Florida, your Florida Gators at Georgia. They're traveling there. See if they can get it done on the road. Upset. They are a dog by 14 and a half points. What do you think about Florida 14 and a half against Georgia today?
Same spread. I'm gonna say the same thing I did a couple weeks ago about Tennessee game. Too big of a spread. We're not the Florida we used to be, but we only lost one game by double digits this year, and that was the first game of the year to Miami. Since then, we've actually been playing respectable football. We could have beat Tennessee, could have beat A&M. I mean, we could have one loss. That's football. A couple plays away from being on the hot seat or having one loss. That's the crazy part about football when you really sit down and think about it.
I don't know.
But I love this game. I hope I do. I hope I do love this. I love it right now on paper. This ain't the Georgia team's just not as dominant as the past few years, and I really think ETN coming back. I think our defense is going to be dialed in, facing the old running back he left. Greener pastures. The defense should take that personally. I hope they do. I hope they do. If we take it personally and you come out there with a chip on their shoulder, like Florida used to have,
Yeah.
then I think that we can definitely keep it close and maybe even pull off the upset. I mean, you've seen Georgia. They should have lost to Kentucky, man. They just not the same Georgia team. So I think we can hang with them. Definitely liking us on the spread. Not confident enough to take the money line, of course. I can't say that. I wish I was, but yeah, I like a spread, man. I think they would. I think it's a close game, like the Tennessee game. We're not that bad anymore. We're not great by any stretch of the imagination. Not great by any, no, you know what I mean. But we're not terrible either.
No, they're
Like
not terrible. The Gators
some
have
people
come a
think
long
we
way
are.
this season. Now, I do want to add this in here. It is. I know it's still in the state of Florida. Obviously, Florida Gators they travel with the
Yeah, it's
best
a
of any of
neutral
them, but
site.
they are playing in Jacksonville today.
Neutral site.
So yeah, Georgia's not going to have that home field advantage, which I do like in a
Yeah.
sense of covering the spread. I
Well,
like
it's
that.
all.
I don't know about if I like it enough for the upset, but I do like it for the spread.
I swear. Now the game's always there though. It's been there forever. World's largest outdoor cocktail party. That's what it's
Well,
called, man.
they're moving a big game next year. I don't know if
That
you're,
that
huh?
is, yeah, because
Okay,
they're renovating that stadium though. That's
yeah.
for the next 2 years.
That's what got me confused. I didn't know if they were moving it this year, next year. So yeah, they're moving Florida Georgia game for the next 2 years. So that's pretty cool. I
I don't
think.
know if it's home and home yet or what.
I
I
don't
haven't really
know. I
looked.
don't. I think from what I saw, they're going to have it on another neutral.
That's fine with
That's
me.
what I saw, but we'll see. College football ever changing. So yeah, I do like. I honestly do like Florida covering on that. I do. I like Georgia more than I have these past couple weeks than I have, all throughout the season. I think with all these other teams kind of dying off, with Ohio State dying off, I think they haven't died off yet, obviously, but they're going to. Trust me. Um, One thing you can bet on is them just not showing up. So I do think. Uh, Man, yeah, I think they're covered, but I don't think they'll win. So, with that being said, here, let's go ahead and move on. I want to get a couple more picks as we finish out just our picks, our game day preview for Week 10. So, let's see here. We went over, I think, our best marquee games. Now we have Houston and Kansas State. We'll see. Houston's not good. Kansas State, they've kind of fell off the national radar. Since the Colorado game, we just haven't heard from them. But I think that's kind of by design. I think people just don't want to, people to think of Kansas State. So let me see here. Navy and Rice. Can Navy come back? I think if they are. They're still trying to keep it going. Army and Navy. I mean, everybody's been rooting for them. I don't know if they'll be able to get it done. In a sense of you know, winning out. Just because I think once you're undefeated, hopes are alive. I think you're going to lose another one. But
Mm.
they are favored today at -11 against Rice. If you're a betting person, maybe you want to throw that in there. Texas A&M and South Carolina, we went over that. Louisville and Clemson.
Mm.
That
Yeah,
could be
yeah.
interesting. Clemson is -10. I'd like the spread. I do like the spread. I think that's a fair spread. But one thing I do is 62.5. I know Louisville can score. I know Clemson can score, but I think that might cancel out each other. You
Uh,
know?
Louisville game last week at 97 points.
I know, but I think that was just just because they can score when they don't need to, or when they're in their big losses. But I haven't seen Louisville score really big against a good team and win. It's like, oh, we lost the game, but at least we put up some points.
Well,
I
yeah,
think that's what Louisville looks at. But
I don't think they're
those
gonna
are
win.
kind of the marquee matchups, that we went over. TCU and Baylor's and maybe another one to look at. I
Yeah,
like
yeah.
TCU this year, honestly. Baylor's
They both
-3.
suck though. I mean, really.
What
But I
pisses
like
You know
that.
what? I don't like TCU. You know what pisses me off of TCU? They went backwards with their uniforms. So many schools did, but you can't go from that good of uniforms at TCU to go that back to that basic.
I know they had the best ones for a while. Yeah,
Come
you're
on,
right.
bro.
You're right. I don't like it either. I hate that. Yeah, you're right. Their jerseys were sick.
They were so good. I mean, Oregon's in the same thing too. I do have a conspiracy about that. I think that's all orchestrated by Nike. I think Nike got tired of just printing all these different,
Yeah, 12 jerseys. Okay.
128 different jerseys for 128 different teams. And I
Yeah,
think Nike went to them and was like, yo, we're going to go back to these 90s looks and we're going to act like this was intentional by you all on these 90s throwbacks. But I think that they wanted to go back because, cost and just labor. They didn't want to,
labor. Yeah.
Yeah, so those are our top 6 games there, plus some extra ones if you know want to throw in some sprinkles on your parlays if you're a betting person or just looking for another good game to watch. So I think we're going to come back Monday with a great review of all these games, and we'll have some MVPs. We do have an interview from a high school prospect, SEC signee. We'll preview that later in the weekend. That will be Monday night. And we'll be probably going a little bit earlier the Monday night to fit his schedule there. But do want to give a shout out to Will Jackson again before we head out here on a great Saturday. Will Jackson, he was visiting Virginia Tech last week, who he's offered by, but this week he is going to be at the U. The U. He is going to be at Miami today visiting. We'll see what happens. You never know what happens in those visits. If he comes back with an offer, we don't know. We will be the first to let you know if that happens on our Twitter, on X, whatever you want to call it there. We've been breaking some news there on recruiting with him this week. So final thoughts, Dalton, entering to week 10, man. It's gone by really fast. But what are your thoughts here of going in, what we're going to see today?
There's not enough weekends left, man. That's what I'm thinking right now. But I'm just gonna enjoy the day. Got 12 and 3:30 for me. After that, I'll probably be checked out.
Yeah.
I mean, I might watch a little bit of the Pitt game, but I got a party to attend tonight. Friends housewarming. Shout out Quentin Stubbs, man. Great house. It's a great house. Looks great. So yeah, man. I'm just excited to see some friends. Yeah, good sound effect. That was nice. I'm excited to see some friends and watch football. That's what about you, man?
Man, I'm right there with you. Not enough weekends, man. I think with having football pretty much from Tuesday to Sunday, maybe some people haven't been able to appreciate the weekends. Only thing I really would say, we're not having the best product on Thursday nights and Friday nights. These games, they're all been low scoring,
Yeah,
pretty much. So, but this week, I think that's not the case. I think it's going to be great games from here up and down the schedule. I think it's going to be a really good time. I mean, well, like I said, top 25, it's going to make a lot of changes this week. I think it really is going to change, and maybe one or two slots, but I think conference teams will be jumping conference teams, and it's going to be shaking up the playoff picture a little bit more than what people would think, in my opinion. So, but yeah, man, we'll be back Monday night. Dalton, you have a good time in Indy. Shout out, tell Keith tell Keith he's always welcome back in the Green Bay Packers grace. Hey, we'll be love to have him back as a fan in Green Bay Packer land, and shout out to him. And
yeah, I'll let them
but
know.
with that being said, man, have a good one, Dalton. Safe
All
travels.
right,
We'll see you when you get back, buddy.
yes, sir. I'll see you soon. Everybody have a good weekend.
All right, y'all. Home Squad Sports Week 10. Y'all have a great one. Enjoy time with your family. Have a good weekend for you and yours. And we'll leave you on that note. Shout out, man. Y'all have a good one. Peace.